Overmount cutouts. Overmount cutouts are used for things such as sinks or hobs which are fitted into the top of the worktop. We would always recommend, where possible, that a jig is made specifically for the particular sink or appliance. Place your template onto the surface. Mark the surface around it with a pencil. Remove the template and measure the center points for your corner holes. All cutouts in solid surface material must have a radius of at least 10 mm rather than being square to aid surface structural longevity. It's useful to drill a pilot hole to ensure that the spade bit used subsequently can be easily located in the corners. Once the pilot holes have been drilled, the spade bit can now be used to cut the larger holes in the corners of the marked area. The blade of the jigsaw can then be inserted into one of the holes and then used to follow the measured lines to achieve the cutout. If you use the jigsaw to cut two opposite sides of the cutout, you can then position two seaming tools to hold the cutout in place, whilst the other two sides are cut. When the other sides have been cut, the suckers can then be unattached from the main surface of the worktop, and the cutout can then be simply lifted out. The excess cutout material should be left on site in case of any future instance of damage that requires specialist repair. The internal edge of the cutout must be sanded to remove any microfractures caused by the rough jigsaw cut, and then the debris removed with denatured alcohol. A popular overmount cutout is a hob. Aluminium heat-reflective tape should always be put inside the internal edge of the cutout to reflect any heat created by the appliance. The hob can then be slotted into position and then connected or plumbed as required. For hob cutouts, ensure there is at least a 6 mm gap between the cutout and the hob, and securely fix 2 layers of aluminium heat-reflective tape around the entire cutout. Remember, ideally, overmount cutouts should be made with a jig and a router. Smooth the edges following the jigsaw cuts to remove microfractures. Radius all corners to a minimum of 10 mm. Do not use square corners.